Hey, so I'm making this video because I originally posted all of this on Patreon, but I forgot that Patreon doesn't archive this stuff. So all the things that I have just posted on Patreon a couple weeks ago and then again yesterday, in a few weeks or months won't be there because Patreon doesn't keep this stuff. So that means that I will have no record of having discussed these things or the things that I saw in the chart as they play out. So I'm making this video as a video record. So I have it somewhere, and I'm going to share it with you. I'm sorry, I'm doing all kinds of crazy here. I've only got a second. So the first thing with Harry and Meghan. Harry apparently touched down in Vancouver yesterday around 5:30, 6:33 p.m., I believe, or 5:30, 6:30. And looking at the chart, this, sorry, Canada, he's not staying. Looking at this chart, that the Harry and Meghan marriage will be well underway to crisis mode again by March, and with honestly a real possibility of another abrupt hard break between them. And then this time it would happen in May. So keep your eyes peeled for events with those two and their teenage angsty drama. And look for the real big stuff to hit the fan come May. So we'll see how it goes. But Harry's not staying. Harry's not staying. And so for those of you who are living in the U.S. that are watching the Senate impeachment trial, and if you live here in the U.S., you should be, because this does absolutely affect you. Americans, right? So we did some charts for the impeachment trial. Now, the original chart I did was about a week ago, and I did it about the trial itself as it starts 1 o'clock tomorrow. And one of the things that was showing very clearly is there was somebody in a position of leadership or authority that literally had kind of everybody under their thumb. There's a lot of fear and intimidation by this person on other people. And they were absolutely very much invested in obstructing or hiding or preventing the release of information, right? So the first thing I thought, like anybody would think, is this has to be Trump. But the more I looked at the chart and the more I thought about the fact that this is the trial, not the impeachment process. We've already got the chart for Trump's impeachment. We know how it's going to go. This is the trial itself, right? So these are not identical players because Trump is no longer in a position of leadership in this trial. He is the defendant, okay? The person in a position of leadership authority, it dawned on me, it's Mitch McConnell. Right? So I speculated about a week ago when I did the chart that Mitch McConnell would be the problem. He is the person, who's got everybody under his thumb, is trying to keep all the monkeys in line. And as things have played out right up until today, that's exactly what we've been watching. So that was pretty interesting, right? I was pretty impressed. Astrology never ceases to amaze me. Now, today, January 21st at 1 p.m., the time on my clock as we speak is 12:07 p.m. So in an hour, a little less than an hour, the official vote is going to be underway for the amendments, the modifications that Mitch McConnell has introduced to the way that the trial is going to be handled. And of course, it is everything we saw in the original chart for the trial, with this person desperately trying to keep all this information obstructed and out of reach, right? And today, the vote and the amendments and modifications he's proposing literally describe a naked, bare attempt to basically stand in front of something and say, no, 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 you can't have it. Wow. So there's something there. I'm not completely sure what the deal is with Mitch McConnell, but I can tell you he's got like half his chart in Taurus. And when you've got that much Earth in your chart, specifically that much Taurus in your chart, and he's got Saturn in Taurus, there's some things we know right off the top. One, you're not a visionary. You're a person of routine. You're a maintainer. So Mitch McConnell is not some super genius, Wile E. Coyote, super genius. That's not Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is very much a get the routine down, do the routine, keep going, going, going. Mitch McConnell's greatest genius in life is the ability to endure anything and literally be a giant turd in the middle of the hallway that refuses to move. Like if you've ever seen a bull or a cow, or a donkey sit down and refuse to move, you're not moving them. You are not moving them. And that's what you get with half your chart in Taurus and Saturn in Taurus. So Mitch McConnell, and also Taurus is very slow moving, hence they call him the turtle, right? So Mitch McConnell is very, very good about digging his heels in and not moving. Stubborn is not even close to describe this inflexible, rooted kind of resistance. And that's where his genius is. His genius is not in chessboard strategy. He's not a chess player. He's not. He's just not. The other thing is that if his money is involved, remember, like Capricorns and Taurus, Capricorns are a little worse than Taurus are, but Taurus is just as bad. They're not giving up a penny of their money. And if you threaten one thin dime of their money, it's war. It is war. We are on, honey. And he's got Saturn in Taurus, which makes him even more sensitive about those issues, about poverty and all that sort of stuff. So literally, no matter how much money he has, he never feels like he has enough. And everything for him is driven by material acquisition. That many planets in Taurus, it's only going to give you a drive to accumulate one of two things, either actual physical real estate, right? Farming, land, soil, or money. Money, and there's never enough money because they're all about their security because they never feel secure. It's never enough for them. Oh my God. And remember, we're talking about Mitch specifically, so this is not a rule that applies to everybody equally, okay, or in the same amount. We're talking about Mitch. So for Mitch to be this committed to this line of action that we all know is incredibly wrong. You do not hold trials without witnesses. You don't hold trials without evidence. What kind of craziness is this? For him to willingly sign on with this and dig his heels in and take that position, his personal finances have to be threatened or threatened to be exposed. So there's more at stake here for good old Mitch on a personal level than meets the eye. And that may be the same thing with the people around him that he is trying to control and get to kowtow and follow the party line. But I'll bet you as this thing unfolds, it's going to be like crystal clear. Mitch McConnell is the puppet master here pulling the strings. So, or at least putting the heavy down on people, right? You'll never work another day in this town, son. So and remember, they're politicians. I mean, what do you do when you've had your previous career as a politician? You're not qualified to do anything, right? What, the bake sales for the local church? You're like, they can't have jobs after this because they're not good at anything. Anyway, or I'm sorry, maybe speaking, doing some consulting at colleges. If you have actual skills in life, like real hands-on skills, consider yourself lucky and blessed, and God bless you, because you will always, always be able to support yourself. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. So we knew this was going to be a problem, and we knew that this was going to be weird and all sorts of stuff, and there's a whole bunch of information about that on the Patreon page, and I'm not posting on video because in this particular instance, for that chart, for the trial itself, I'm breaking down literally the train of logic that I'm following and showing the astrology. I'm showing the math, how I came to those conclusions astrologically. So if you want to see that, you have to become a subscriber because that's for patrons only. Sorry, kids. But for today, the vote today, here's what I want you to know. So I'm looking at this chart. There are a couple of things that stand out. It's very similar to the chart tomorrow because obviously it's the same lineup, same time, same bad time, same bad channel. The difference is the moon. So today the moon is void, of course, which means that it's basically just a big pomp and circumstance dog and pony show. It's all for theatrics. The other thing is that the moon in Sagittarius would, of course, suggest that they literally don't know what the hell they're doing. It's the spaghetti on the wall approach. Let's just throw it out there and see what happens. Let's see what sticks. The moon has just recently passed a conjunction to Mars in Sagittarius. So again, lots of hot, passionate, confrontational words about the future and future ramifications. And I would bet you money people were having their future jobs and livelihoods threatened. Not their current ones, their future ones. So with that, we've got that going on. Now, we also have Admetos sitting right behind the ascendant on this chart. And Admetos is obstruction. Where Admetos is a trans-Neptunian. Where Admetos shows up, it is believed to have correlations with stoppages, things that come to a complete stop, right? So the ascendant is past that by a couple of, like 1 or 2 degrees. So whatever the impasse was, we're past it now. It happened yesterday or the day before. So literally the constipation opened up and everything has now starting to move. And that may be why everybody else on the other side of this equation, the opponents are so like, all kinds of freaked out because, it wasn't supposed to work like this. Now, so I wasn't really sure what to do with this chart because this is the vote today. So here's the thing though, if in this chart on the 45 or the 90-degree dial, which is a different way to look at charts, literally there are more ways to turn a chart and dismantle it and reconstruct it than there are ways to cook an egg, honestly. But hidden in here, one of the things I found was there was a Moon-Saturn conjunction on the dial, right? And that suggests to me that there's not a whole lot of sympathy. There's not a whole lot of F's given where these things are concerned, and certainly where the moon is concerned. Now, the moon is in the 7th house, which would represent the opponents, right? Or the people who are actively trying to defend their position. So in this case, it would be Mitch trying to defend his position because he needs other people to sign on and agree with him in their votes. Are you following me here? So Mitch McConnell and this vote today becomes the 7th house. And that moon being all kinds of blah and not really connecting or making aspects and not really knowing what the hell it's doing or where it's going or how to spaghetti on the wall sounds a lot like what Mitch McConnell, I would assume, is really kind of doing right now, right? Like having a total freak out. The Moon-Saturn conjunction, because the moon represents public support and the populace, that Moon-Saturn conjunction shows a complete lack of sympathy. So my suspicion, and I'm putting it out there because I have confidence about this, my suspicion is when this vote is over, Mitch will not get the support that he's looking for, and all those modifications he's trying to push through are not going to go through. So we shall see. So I'm putting this up here, and we're all learning as we go along. So I could be wrong about this because I've never done an impeachment chart before because I mean, Jesus, it was Clinton, right? So we'll see. We will see. And then we'll certainly make modifications and amendments as we get there. And we see how this is actually playing out. So this is pretty exciting stuff. So for those of you who are learning astrology, this is a great time to kind of watch and see what goes on. If you're learning astrology, I really recommend you go sign on with a Patreon page. It's $1 a month, right? And we break down the charts and talk about how we're coming to the conclusions we do. And it's a lot easier to build your astrological vocabulary that way. Than this hodgepodge, airy-fairy, marshmallow fluff astrology all over the place on YouTube. And if not, that's okay too. All right, so time now is 12:17 p.m. I've got to go get some stuff done. Let's see how this goes today.